Greetings, humans! This is Miles speaking, your favorite alien explorer, coming to you straight from the Red Planet, on the toughest mission in the galaxy, to understand what goes on this planet that's as fascinating as it is terrifying. Today I came across something that gave me chills. The most bizarre, sinister, and legendary folkloric creatures that you have described over the centuries. And look, some of these stories are so ancient and so similar across different cultures that I started to suspect that maybe, just maybe, there's some truth to them. So get ready, because today is the day to meet the darkest monsters that have ever walked, crawled, flown, or slithered through world folklore. This is Miles' Insight. So roll the intro.
Miles Insight. Miles Insight. Miles Insight.
Let's start with a creature from Japan that mixes charm, deception, and a very sticky ending, the Jorogumo. The name says it all, Spider Woman. But this isn't just any little spider hiding in the corner. She's a giant, venomous spider, capable of taking the form of a beautiful woman, one of those who turns heads even in the middle of the forest. And that's exactly where the danger lies. She appears as a delicate, friendly young woman, maybe even a bit needy, and lures travelers in with sweet talk. But when they get close, bang, she reveals her true body with 8 hairy legs, insect-like eyes, and fangs that inject paralyzing venom. From an alien point of view, this reminds me of a planet I visited, where the flowers would sing to lure in their victims. A visual paradise and a digestive nightmare. Moral of the story? Not all friendliness is an invitation. Sometimes it's really just a trap. Now we're going to a place you use a lot. But that should never be the setting for a horror movie. The bathroom, because that's where the legend of Bloody Mary lives. This entity is practically the influencer of ghosts. Everyone knows her, everyone has heard of her, and everyone swears they have a friend who tried to make contact. For her to appear, you just have to turn off the lights and call the lady in front of the mirror. Simple, right? Kind of like unlocking a secret level boss. The figure that appears varies. Some people say she was Queen Mary I, known as Bloody Mary, who ordered the execution of anyone who disagreed with her. Others say she was a girl who died tragically and got trapped in the mirror, like a corrupted backup. On my planet, mirrors are only used for holographic communication. They would never put a vengeful spirit inside one. But if you all decided that the bathroom is a good place for hauntings, who am I to judge? Time to send a chill down your spine with the dreaded Wendigo. A terrifying creature from the traditions of the Algonquian peoples of North America. This monster represents one of humanity's greatest taboos, cannibalism. Legend has it that when a person resorts to eating human flesh, they are overtaken by a powerful curse. Their body begins to deform, their soul becomes corrupted, and they transform into a skeletal being with grayish skin, sunken eyes, and sharp claws. And the most bizarre part? Even after devouring everything around, the hunger never goes away. There's even a mental disorder studied by humans called Wendigo psychosis, where a person feels an uncontrollable urge to consume human flesh. On my planet, this would be treated with immediate isolation and a tea made from neuro-regenerative roots. Here, you created a legend to warn about the subject. Strangely enough, it works. Leaving the freezing snows behind and entering the dense forests of Russia, we find the enigmatic Leshy, the ancestral protector of the Slavic forests. The Leshy is a shape-shifting creature. He can shrink until he's smaller than a squirrel, or grow tall enough to reach the treetops. His skin has the texture of wood, his eyes glow like embers, and his beard is made of moss. But his main ability? To disorient anyone who dares to invade his territory. He mimics human voices, changes trails, scrambles paths, and leaves hunters and travelers wandering in circles for hours. In rural areas of Russia, it's common to hear stories of people who followed familiar voices and disappeared for days. They say the only way to trick the Leshy is to wear your clothes inside out or switch your shoes to the opposite feet. It may sound strange, but I wore 3 shirts inside out to investigate this story. Now let's go straight to Latin America, where one of the continent's most tragic and chilling figures reigns, La Llorona. The name says it all, the woman who weeps. But it's the reason for her weeping that weighs the most. According to the legend, she drowned her own children in a fit of despair and, filled with remorse, took her own life, but her spirit never found rest. Now she wanders along the riverbanks, endlessly weeping for what she has lost. The most terrifying detail? They say that if you hear her crying from far away, she is actually close by. But if you hear her right next to you, it's already too late. Several old newspapers recorded reports of her apparitions on bridges, rivers, and deserted roads. And the most intriguing part? The descriptions are always similar. Even without the internet, social media, or direct communication, different people describe the same figure, a hooded woman crying by the water's edge. Coincidence? Maybe. But on my planet, coincidences like this are taken very seriously. It's time to talk about one of the icons of mysterious culture, the chupacabra. A name that sends chills down your spine just by hearing it. The first modern record of the chupacabra was in 1995 in Puerto Rico, when animal breeders began to find dead goats and chickens, drained of blood and with precise puncture wounds on their necks. The strange thing is that there were no signs of a struggle. It seemed surgical. After that, similar reports appeared in several countries: Mexico, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, and even in the United States. The creature's appearance changes little depending on the place, but the most famous version is of a being about 1.5 meters tall, with grayish or greenish skin, red eyes, and spines on its back. To be honest, I know of a similar species that lives on a moon in Andromeda, plasma suckers. Very intelligent, and not friendly at all. It makes you wonder, did one of them do some interplanetary tourism around here? Time to explore the origins of vampirism, with a creature that existed long before Dracula became a movie star, the strigoi from Romania. The strigoi are undead who rise from their graves at night to suck the life energy from the living. Unlike the movie vampires that are popular with this generation, they are neither elegant nor seductive. They have a decayed appearance, smell of decomposition, and sunken eyes that seem to pierce right through you. The fear was so real that Romanians developed post-mortem security techniques, burying the body with bricks, tying the feet with chains, or laying the deceased face down. And what if someone died under suspicious circumstances? People would dig up the body to check if it was still, well, dead. It's impressive how fear can shape such elaborate rituals. On some planets, this would be classified as spiritual pest control. And we finish with one of the most disturbing urban legends of modern Japan, Kuchisake Onna, the slit-mouthed woman. She appears wearing a mask, usually a surgical mask, which, let's be honest, doesn't really stand out these days. She approaches the person and asks, "Do you think I'm pretty?" If you answer no, she attacks you on the spot. If you answer yes, she removes the mask, reveals her mouth cut from ear to ear, and repeats the question. The wrong answer ends with you getting the same cut, which nobody wants. But this woman, poor thing, clearly needs some strong telepathic therapy. They say that carrying candy can distract her. Others claim that answering so-so confuses the creature and gives you time to escape. Honestly, I prefer to avoid social interaction with entities of unstable appearance. And these, my humanoid friends, were some of the most terrifying and enigmatic creatures that inhabit the folklore of your planet. Stories that cross generations, survive the passage of time, and show that fear is one of humanity's oldest and most creative feelings. And you know what? Maybe these monsters didn't just appear out of nowhere. Maybe they're echoes of something that really happened or is happening. If you enjoyed this dark journey through the scary side of human culture, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the Miles Insight channel, and comment down below. Which of these creatures do you hope you never run into out there? Or which one do you think could actually be real? See you in the next episode. And remember, if something moves in the dark, don't go check what it is. Just run away as fast as you can.